This video is brought to you by BetUS Sportsbook and Casino.
Michael Vick here at BetUS.com. Get it all. Huge bonuses, great odds, a race book, live in-game betting, and a casino. BetUS, my online sportsbook and casino.
Lions fans, onepride family, it's time for us to have that conversation. It's preseason game 3. You know what time it is, right? It's time for those predictions, right? 53-man roster prediction. I got all of the notes written down in my notebook. It's been going on since training camp. I had to cut some guys off the list. I got a few surprises on here. We're going to talk about it all. Let's dig in. So once again, shout out to the sponsors over at BetUS, man. 125% bonus on your first 3 deposits up to $2,000. Great deal. Make sure you check the link in the description for that. All right, so first and foremost, this was not easy to do. There's a lot of guys on this roster that may end up on the practice squad, but at the same time, I don't see these guys lasting on that practice squad. To be honest, there's some guys on here. If we bring them to our practice squad, I don't think they're gonna be here. That's just what it is. So, yeah, these roster cuts were tough. I kind of threw some guys in there just based off of what I've seen in preseason. But since the beginning of the training camp, I think certain guys separated themselves. Some have not yet. Some still have an opportunity to. So this is prediction 1. We're gonna do another one before that day comes. But yeah, we still got another preseason game to go. We still got some evaluating to do. But I just wanted to give you guys this one, right? So. All right, so let's take a look at it. First and foremost, obviously, we know our punter and our kicker, right? We got Jack Fox at punter. I'm going with Jake Bates. I'm probably sure he solidifies, himself a position, right? And we got Scott Daly, just to get the obvious out the way. Then at the quarterback, maybe Jared Goff at 1. I'm not sure. No, Jared Goff at 1, Hendon Hooker at 2. That's where I have it right now. And of course, Sudfield makes it. He makes the roster at QB3. Dan Campbell said that they're planning on keeping 3 quarterbacks. So just looking off the performances in the preseason, Sudfield is Sudfield. He's better than he was last year, but he's still not good. So I've seen too many flashes from Hendon Hooker, too much more talent from Hendon Hooker for me to have Sudfield ahead of him. Like I said, these guys right now, they're probably at the point where they say, hey, if something was to happen, we bring in Sudfield first, which, that's expected. But at the end of the day, on a talent level, it's not even close. Hendon Hooker is definitely my selection. We haven't had an opportunity to see him a lot, but in this limited amount of possessions, it's no argument. There's just no argument. So those 3 guys at QB. Of course, we know the 4 at running back, right? You got your Gibbs and Montgomery, Lightning Thunder, right? You got Reynolds, obviously, because of what he embodies as a player. He plays hard. We remember the block from last season, the big block. The Lions love him. So RB3, obviously. But at RB4, Sione Vaki, man. There's no way you can keep him away from 4. It's obvious at this point that he's talented at just playing football. He's a football player. He's a Dan Campbell guy. He's a football player. And that's your 4 running backs right there. So, really no change from what I thought would happen. A lot of us wanted to see what he could do on the other side of the football and at this position and that position or whatever it was. Listen, he's running back. He's going to be a running back, and he's talented at running back. But, obviously they're going to use him in other situations, but he's a running back, and he's RB4. That's just that. So, wide receiver. Obviously, we got Amon-Ra St. Brown, our golden receiver. But then you look at Williams and what his role is going to be. J-Mo is expected to take a big step forward, and I think it's going to be hard to keep the football out of his hands a lot of the time. Him and Laporta and Amon-Ra are going to get the bulk of the passes out there, and sprinkle in with a little bit of Raymond here and there. I expect a lot from J-Mo. It's kind of hard. It's kind of hard to evaluate the other guys at the bottom without putting this one receiver ahead of them. Simply because he's shown more. He's a dog. He's somebody that everyone is talking about now. Someone that I've been talking about. And at wide receiver 4, I have Isaiah Williams. Isaiah Williams I think he's going to continue to be that dog. I think he's going to continue to press forward and continue to shine. And I'm giving him that 4th spot at receiver. Got the Lions holding them at number 4. So, yeah. Tight end, we got the obvious, right? Laporta, right? Let's see. Mitchell, obvious, right? Linebacker, Anzalone, Campbell, Barnes. Of course, we got the veteran in Jalen Reeves-Maven, and we got Rodrigo. Nothing significant there, right? O-line, we have the obvious starters. Decker, Sewell. We're going to have Zettler, Glasgow, and Ragnow. That's who I have as start. But for the reserves, it's Sorsdale, it's Owasika, it's Manu, I'm not going to try to pronounce his name. I'm just going to put it on the screen for y'all. I'm not in the business of shredding names right now. But those are the reserves I have down for the offensive line. Penei Sewell was said to have a foot injury today. Scared a lot of people. But according to one of the Lions insiders and Justin Rogers, he got the report that he was fine. So, that's great news. We do not need Penei Sewell with some type of significant injury, especially from practice, because, man, you got to look at the job he does, obviously, but, who we have to face at that spot on the opposite side of the football. We got to have him. So it's good to hear that he's fine. It was nothing significant, and that's great news. So, yeah. Defensive end, Hutch and Davenport, Pascal, Agude in Houston. Kind of obvious, right? Listen, man. I need to see one more preseason game. I like Betts. I like him. Somewhere on this defensive line, I just feel like he fits there. I like number 95. So we'll see what happens with that. If he continues to show whatever it is. Definitely one of them guys that I was talking about. If he was to make the practice squad, I just don't see him being around. I just don't. He is 29, from coming from the league he's coming from, but he played really well, and he had some eye-opening moments out there. One thing he was doing was getting constant pressure, and that's what we obviously need. And, like I said, you got some guys on that defensive line that, it's question marks as far as health, and it's just so much goes into it. We lost Kamish. Yeah, so just keep that noted, right? You got to limit Neil, Reeder, Martin, Levi, and Wingo. Like I said, nothing surprising there when it comes to the defensive line. I think it's pretty obvious besides that guy I just mentioned. You're going to have your practice squatters. I know a lot of you guys like the young man out of Ole Miss. He was impressive. So, we'll see what happens. With that. Cornerback, Arnold Davis, Meek Robertson, Rakestraw, and I got Vildor. Vildor's just been impressive. Vildor, again, today I heard did something very impressive. So Vildor was solid for us when we needed him last year. I mean, so Vildor gets the spot. That's just what it is. It's just obvious, right? You got your safeties. You got Branch. You got Joseph. You know what I'm saying? You got Iffy. But the fourth guy that I have is Brandon Joseph. Brandon Joseph, I mean, he's been solid. You know, he made a couple of plays during this preseason stint. Like I said, we'll see if he can continue to do that. But that's just the guy I gave the spot. And that's where I'm at right now. It's a tough cut to cut more simply because of what he brings to the special teams, you know, in that situation. So, you know, it's going to be interesting to watch what the Lions do because, like I said, it's either what do you value more as a coaching staff? You know what I'm saying? So it's going to be some surprises, some guys that we didn't think would get cut that get cut. It happens every year. I'm just doing an early prediction right now. It's just an early prediction right now. You know, when we get, you know, the day before, we'll have that discussion on my final decisions. This is just something I threw together real quick, man. I was jotting this down in a notebook today earlier. I know you guys seen the community post when I posted it. But literally just off the top of the dome of what I've seen. What I've seen from practice, what I've heard from practice, and what I've seen in preseason games when the lights are on. These are the names. You have other guys that did stand out. You have Knight at running back, runs hard. You know, you have guys all over the place, that, you know, that's done some things. And we have room on our practice squad, but I have to crunch it down to 53. And these are the guys that I have down. So, you know, I'm interested to know what you guys think. Leave it in the comment section. What group, leave it by group. What group do you see a change in from the guys that I named? You know, who do you feel like is going to make it scratching one of the guys off the list that I have? I want to see some of these, you know, some of these comments, man, because there's a lot of mixed feelings when it comes to certain position groups. DPJ also is still someone to look out for because he's been showing in practice a lot. Every time we look at the highlights, even the ones that I've just shown you guys in this video, he's shown. So I think it's just, man, during the game, I just want to see him in the game. Hopefully we can get a start out of Hooker. I want to see him and Hooker try to connect out there. I want to see him connect, you know, with a quarterback that's going to find him and put the ball where he needs it. I want to see him be able to, you know, and a lot of people were saying that he wasn't getting separation. I think you need to go and try to get a hold of a all 22 or something because he wasn't getting open. He was definitely getting open. I went and double checked that myself. So make sure you guys subscribe to my guy over there, all 22. He's dropping a lot of Lions content over there. You need to go over there. You know, I got it up on the screen for you guys. Go and check him out. He's putting the all 22. He just did Vaki. So check that one out too. But with that said, leave it in the comments. And yeah, I'll see you guys in a day or two. We got a lot more to talk about. Peace.
Michael Vick here at BetUS.com. Get it all. Huge bonuses, great odds, a race book, live in-game betting, and a casino. BetUS, my online sports book and casino.